Hi, I'm Joe Connolly. Four professionals with other careers are the co-owners of the Growler and Gill craft beer pub and restaurant. It's kind of like a Starbucks for craft beers, and they are having a ball running their side business the way that they want to do it.
We all do different things. So I like to say, because of my background being a financial guy, I worry about everything that can put you out of business and behind the scenes, right? My wife is kind of handling the overlook of the kitchen, right? She's developed the menu, keeps an eye on the guys. But again, she's got a full-time job, right? My brother, who's a teacher, social media, he's a beer guy. He handles the beer. Got another partner who does some operational stuff. So everybody's got a different piece of it. But we have it run. We've set it up so it runs with other folks. And when I said we've got our kids who are in their 20-something, so one of my daughters is a manager along with a couple of other folks. And we're not open 100 hours a week. We actually don't open till 4 on a Monday through Thursday. We close at 11, which people say, you're in a bar in New York, why don't you stay open till 4? I'm too old for that, right? I don't want to get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So we have a very kind of defined opening and closing. On the weekends, it's from 12 to 11, you know, Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're 12 to 8. So it's kind of manageable, right?
A bar with banker's hours.
It's exactly, yeah, but it works. It works, it makes money. Nobody's exhausted. Nobody feels like it's kind of the grind that you see in the restaurant business.
You're doing it your way, and your customers are loving it, and you have a 5-star review.
Yep, I always said that I want to be your first stop, not your last stop. And I said, trust me, customers will get to appreciate that, and they have. They get the point. And again, look, our customer base, it's 25 to 85. I mean, we're not, you know, kind of on the fringe of a 21-year-old clientele, even though they are coming, you know, getting a little closer to 21. But folks who, you know, want to be in the house back at home at 11 o'clock. Don't need to be out till 2 in the morning. First off, when you come in, there's a casualness to our place. But the other thing about approachable, so if you were a wine person, right, there's this concept of a wine snob, right? Well, beer has a beer geek concept, right? So those are folks who are more in the know. In our place, we appeal to those folks, but we also appeal to the person who's just coming to it for the first time. And I think that's what I mean by approachable. So you can come in, we allow you to taste anything on the wall. We have a 24-tap wall. You can taste anything you want. And like I said, you can taste all 24 taps and I won't kick you out. I may have to wheel you out, but I won't kick you out. So, you know, I think there's something to be said for that. And then folks can, you know, a lot of folks are used to drinking the big brands, say Budweiser or Corona, can tell us what they like, and then we can get them into something that's more craft, which is what we, you know, what we promote.
How did you catch the craft beer craze at the right time?
So that's interesting. So back in 2011, a number of family members, mostly that 20-something generation, asked me, because of my background in business, to write them a business plan. And they wanted me to write them a business plan. They wanted to go in the craft beer business. Now, I'm a dirty martini guy, so I didn't really know what that was. So I spent some time studying it. It had really been growing at double digits at that point for quite a while, 4, 5, 6 years. So I came back with the business plan and this hybrid concept, and they decided not to move forward. So I looked at it and I said, well, maybe we should move forward. So grabbed a few folks, put the business plan together, and figured, worst case, if it didn't work, I owned a bar, right? And everybody at a certain point in life wants to own a bar, right? Best case, if it worked and we caught it right, it'd be a nice little business, and it's turned out to be the latter. So, you know, I own a bar, but it's turned out to be a very nice business.
I'm told that the celebrity or guest bartender events are huge for you. People from different charities can be bartenders, right, to raise money, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we started that. So in the beginning, we were trying to align with charities in different ways, right? And you try what works and what doesn't work. And then my sister-in-law actually saw it at another brewery. She saw this charity bartender event, and we brought it back and made it our own. So I would say like 2 Sundays a month. We'll have a charity in Alzheimer's, hospice, any cancer society, or some local ones. Do the Little League. And what we'll do is for 4 hours, they will basically every hour, they'll have 2 of their folks behind the bar, and they will get to keep all the cash tips. And so rather than tipping our staff, they tip the bartenders. And then at the end of the 4 hours, they keep the cash. And then what we do is we obviously have a bigger day than we would normally on a Sunday. So what we do is we then pay our staff out of our pockets the equivalent of what they would have made based upon the sales. So that's the way we give back to the charity.
I'm told this is very successful for you.
Yeah, it's hugely successful. I mean, look, let's face it, we get folks who would never come in. They hear about us. We get to align with some great organizations. And the other thing is we're all growing up. We've all been very community and charity-minded. So it's a feel-good thing. So, you know, we get to feel good about the fact that we've supported in our own way. We've supported this charity or that charity. And we learn about charities like the one that was there this Sunday. Wasn't a charity I was aware of. And now I'm aware of, you know, another good cause.
Is the food fairly new for you? Do you start serving food now? Did you add a kitchen after you started? That was a second step, wasn't it?
Well, so when I did the business plan,
Yeah.
I modeled it on a place in San Francisco called the City Beer Store. And I went to see the City Beer Store, and the one thing that didn't dawn on me is they had no food, because different states have different laws about food and alcohol. So when I wrote my business plan, and you have to have food in New York, I was going to have a food truck or outsource the kitchen. And we're getting about a month away, and my wife said to me, "What are you, an idiot?" She said, "You've got to have food. You've got to have a kitchen." And I said, "Okay, but I don't know anything about food." She said, "Well, I'll take care of that." So we ended up putting in a small kitchen to start with a George Foreman grill. And if you saw our kitchen today, you wouldn't recommend it. We've got hoods, we've got ovens, pizza ovens, the whole bit. So the food has been the fastest growing part of the business, but quite honestly was one I was somewhat dismissive of early on, because I wanted the food just as a gateway to get into the beer business.
Tell us about the beer festival.
Yeah, so when we first opened up, so prior to opening the bar, I had been involved in a local community festival day. So when we started the bar and you started looking at the craft beer festivals, which were, now they're crazy, everybody's got one, right? Every weekend there's one, but back then there weren't as many. So I was thinking, why don't we just take everything we learned about the festival without the beer, and the only thing we're adding is beer, right? So we did our first craft beer festival back in 2013. So we're going to have this is our 5th annual craft beer festival. So really what it is we invite 50 breweries, about 100 beers, and we sell 1,000 tickets. The other thing, when you say like you kind of build it for yourself, the one thing I hate is crowds. So I was at a couple of festivals where the long lines, you're waiting, didn't like that,
No
right?
fun.
So we basically run 2 sessions. First we have a VIP session, which is exclusive, and we limit it to about 75 folks. Then we have a general admission session where there's a total of 500 people. Then we shut down and we open up an hour later with the same type of sequence, VIP, but we do 1,000 tickets and we cut it off. And needless to say, so we'll do it again. We're on track. We'll sell 1,000 tickets. We'll get a lot of repeat from the earlier festivals. It's June 3rd. It's always the first Saturday after Memorial Day because we get good weather. We have local music acts. We bring in another, we don't use our restaurant. We close our restaurant down that day, and we actually invite another group in to sell food, a place in Orangeburg.
You hold it in your parking lot or in your backyard?
Yeah. So if you came into our place, we actually have a 1,000-square-foot area that's fenced off as a beer garden. But what we do for the festival is we go, because we get a separate permit, and we actually tent an area beyond that outside in our back parking lot. And that's where all the breweries set up, and the music sets up, and the food sets up, and we go at it for about 10 hours.
What an unusual idea, though, to sell a number of tickets and then leave it at that. That's a nice position to be in for you.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's great. It's a profitable day. It's a feel-good day, but it's not overwhelming, right? And everybody walks out feeling they got their money's worth, and that's what's key.